We're only halfway through the year, and so far, both Ada and Canyon County have appreciated by more than 11%. Let's talk about that and more in this week's segment of Market Watch. Hi everybody, Joshua Barks here, Associate Broker with Keller Williams Realty Boise and Team Lead of the Barks & Co. Real Estate Team. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's segment of Market Watch. I'm super excited because we're bringing you the market dynamics for both Ada and Canyon County. So this is our deep dive. It's going to be a very long video, so I did include the timeline chapters in the bar below. So you can click and drag right to the segment that you're most interested in to save you a little bit of time. And I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible, just in general, and get right to the point. So for those of you that aren't going to stick around, here are kind of the top bullet points for Ada and Canyon County that you need to know about. First off, Ada County has appreciated by 11.7% so far this year. New highest average sales price ever recorded, $477,000. Canyon County has appreciated by 12.2% so far this year, with an average sales price just under $335,000. What that means is I was wrong with my predictions because I predicted both Ada and Canyon County to have about 8% by this time, and we're over 10%, over 11%, for both Ada and Canyon County. Now, what my predictions are for the end of the year, when I was predicting 15 to 18%, I'm now saying we're likely to be closer to 20. So 18 to 20% is what I'm guessing. I don't think we're going to absolutely double what we're seeing right now. We could, but as inventory comes up, I think that'll help our rates of appreciation just slightly. So let's dive right into the market dynamics, and we'll see you for the wrap up at the end. Here we are with May 2021 market dynamics for Ada and Canyon County on the existing home sales side. So first off, let's start with Ada County and what's going on so far this year, and specifically everything that happened this last May. So as always, I like to start with the market trends chart, then go to what we're appreciating year over year, and then show you the breakdown. So with the market trends chart, if this is your first time with us, the red line is going to be the number of active listings, so the number of available homes on the market at any given time. The gray bars are going to be the number of pending sales in any given month. And then the black bars are going to be the number of closed sales in any given month. So the reason I like to start here is because it gives us a great breakdown of supply and demand, and it shows us 1 year, or rather 13 months, of activity levels. So what you can see there. And if you were with me before, or if you experienced part of the market last year, you may know that inventory hit our absolute record low of only 85 active listings on the market in the entire county for Ada County, which is really incredible because that was just insanity. Before that, our lowest ever was 300. Prior to the pandemic, it was a 370, something like that. So we just dropped off month after month after month. So luckily, we are coming up in inventory. We now have 389 active listings on the market, but still down compared to last year, because the same time last year we had 667 homes on the market. So down about 40% there. We are still seeing a rising trend in inventory, which is fantastic as more people get vaccinated and as restrictions loosen and things open up and people feel safer with putting their house on the market and getting ready to move. So I think last year really delayed a lot of folks in the moving process. So I think next month, potentially, we're going to finally see more inventory this year than we had the same time last year. Even with the low inventory levels, though, the number of closed sales is up. So we had 718 homes close in May of this year compared to last year's 603. And then we have 717 homes that are pending compared to last year's 966. Now, yes, we are down in the number of pendings, though I think that has a lot more to do with the fact that we don't have very many available homes compared to actual true demand being diminished. Only time will tell with that one as inventory comes up, if demand, follows suit as well. But that is what I am seeing in the marketplace for kind of supply and demand. We do have some buyer fatigue out there where, people have been in the market trying to buy a home and they're not getting it. And so they're quitting, basically. They're saying, you know what, I'm not going to buy a house right now. Or they change their mind on moving altogether. So one thing to note for those people is, yes, we do have only 389 available homes on the market, but we have 717 buyers that were successful in securing a home even in this market. So if it can happen for them, it can happen for you. Just make sure you have an agent that knows how to navigate all of this craziness that we have going on out there, and that you're educated on doing the right things and making the right decision there. Your agent should be able to help you figure out what strategies you can employ to actually win in those multiple offer situations. Then when we're talking about the average sold price and what we're appreciating or depreciating year over year, though we're on quite the trend upward from where we were even a decade ago. So far this year, we've come up 11.7%. Absolutely incredible. $477,527 is the new highest average sold price for Ada County that we've ever seen. The crazy part is just this time last year, we were in the 360s for the average sold price. And now we're over 100,000 more than what we saw this same time last year in the average sold price, which is crazy. Then we ended last year with 427,000 as the average and an 18% for the full year of 2020. Now, if you're with me before, my prediction by the end of May, beginning of June, so this time right now, I was predicting between 5 and 8% at least for market appreciation. And man, was I wrong. We are higher than that, which is incredible. Do I think this is going to continue through the year? Because we're halfway through the year now. And then by the end of the year, are we going to see 22% appreciation for 2021? It's possible. But I do think things are going to slow down a little bit, balance out just slightly as inventory continues to rise. And, demand is still there, still crazy. But as inventory starts to rise, I think prices are not going to continue to appreciate just a crazy amount month over month. Because 11% for half the year, we did for 2019, which was, I would say, quote unquote, a normal year in a hot market for our area, we appreciated at a slower pace than what we have half of this year. So I still think that we're going to be between, well, I did say 15 to 18%. Now I'm thinking it's going to be closer to 18%, but I do think we'll probably be less than 20% by the end of the year, as long as inventory still continues to rise, pretty steadily through the summer months. So when we're looking at the breakdown on price point, the month's supply, overall we're averaging half a month's supply, which is still incredible. Homes are selling on average less than 2 weeks, so 13 days on market. This same time last year, this 13 days was 25 days, even though we didn't have very many homes on the market then. So that's going to continue to be very, very tight there, though we are finally seeing more than a month's supply in something under than 1 million. So up to 600,000, it's still less than a month's supply, but 600 to 1 million, we have 1.3 and 1.8 months. Oops. And then when we have above 1 million, we're still considered a seller's market up until 2 million for our area, which is incredible. because economists say anything less than 4 months is considered a seller's market. Between 4 and 6 months, we're considered balanced. And then anything beyond 6 is considered a buyer's market. So we're still a seller's market all the way up to 2 million. And then more balanced, anything above 2 million, which is good, but we need those numbers to shift downward where, inventory comes up so that the absorption rate kind of gives us more than a month would be wonderful. You can see the bulk of the sales in Ada County are really the 300 to 500 range. And that's what I consider where most of our jobs support the area. A lot of this growth is attributed to out-of-state folks and the ability to now telecommute with out-of-state salaries. Asking price, if you're just looking at the average asking price for everything that's on the market, we're at $756. Average home that's marked pending in MLS is $576, and then of course that average sold price being $477. So we're still seeing an upward push on this price point. So this is what sellers are hoping for. This is approximately what they're getting, and then this is what they're ending up with over the last 12 months. So we're still going to see, prices continue to appreciate at a pretty significant pace, but I'm hoping we're not going to see, 5% every 2 months because that is bananas. So if you're looking at the top 3 areas in Ada County for the most growth so far this year, Northeast Boise and the East End come out on top. 13.9% increase overall year to date, and an average sales price in that area of $709,697. Followed very closely by Garden City's 13.6% and their average sales price of $437,306. And then that is followed by Southwest Meridian and up 13.2% so far this year with an average sales price of $526,876. Now, these are the top 3 areas, but a lot of other areas were also up 12%, which is higher than our average for the whole area because our average for the whole area was at 11%. So that's what we're seeing in Ada County. Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about Canyon County. So in Canyon County, same thing. Let's start with the market trends chart so you can get an idea of supply versus demand in this area as well. So we have 203 active listings this time last year. Well, this year we have 161. So yes, we still are on an increasing trend, but still down from what we saw this same time last year. 372 homes were pending and 438 were pending last year. Again, I think that has a lot more to do with the fact that we just don't have very much inventory compared to demand rather than an actual slowdown in demand. We won't really know for sure until a couple months from now where we can look at the trends going on and what really actually happened. What I'm feeling is, again, yes, we do have some buyer fatigue, but really we just need more listings on the market because the demand is there for them. Now we have 329 that closed in May in Canyon County compared to last year's 276. So again, same story. We are up in the number of sales, even though inventory is down and the number of pendings is down slightly as well. When we're talking about appreciation, Canyon County beat Ada County in appreciation, 12.2%. Again, I was anticipating this to be closer to 8% by the end of May, maybe like 7 or so. And man, 12.2% is quite the increase. So last year we ended with just under 300,000. Now we're up to 334,997. So that is quite the growth for Canyon County. What I am seeing for the pressure on Canyon County is as Ada County's prices continue to rise, people are being pushed further and further out from Boise downtown core just due to prices and affordability. So they're moving to Canyon County instead of Ada County. So not being able to buy in Boise, then you look in Meridian. If you're not able to buy in Meridian, then you look in Kuna. And if you're not able to buy in Kuna, then you're looking out in Canyon County and what have you. That's kind of the trajectory of at least what my clients have been doing over the last year. So 12.2%, quite the growth for Canyon County. The days on market for Canyon County is slightly less than what we saw in Ada, so 12 days, so still less than 2 weeks, homes are selling on average in Canyon County. This time last year, we had 22 days on market for Canyon County, 22 compared to 12. So that's a significant drop. The absorption rate for available homes, again, less than a month, all the way up to 400,000. And then it's very similar, what we're seeing. So then we have just over a month or a month supply, 400 to 600, and then 600, we have over 2 months, and then 4.5 months supply over 800, and then 12 months supply over 1 million. So going to show you that it is very much a buyer's market in the over $1 million range in Canyon County, which makes sense just based on prices. So we have 5 active listings and 5 closed in the last 12 months. So there is demand there for them, but they're closing at an appreciation rate of approximately 1 a month in the 1 to 1.5 million. So still strong seller's market all the way up to 800,000 in Canyon County. And then we're technically, according to national economists, going to be a balanced market because, like I've said, less than 4 months is considered a seller's market. Anything between 4 and 6 months is considered balanced. Anything beyond 6 months is considered a buyer's market because you have more choices. So again, average being 335 basically. Sellers average asking price just under 500,000, and then the average pending being 410. So again, we're seeing a lot of push upwards in these price points. So that's not showing any signs of slowing down anytime soon as well. Then when we go into the top 3 areas for Canyon County, we have crazy numbers, 34% increase in the average sales price since January 1 of this year in Melba. So $346,945, the average sales price for homes in Melba. Then when we're looking at Greenleaf, still a significant jump, though not over 30, 26.3% year to date, and then an average sales price of $340,245 in Greenleaf. Then that's followed up by Wilder at 17.8% so far this year, with an average sales price in Wilder of $285,653. So that's a wrap on what we're seeing in Canyon County. And let's dive into interest rates because that really affects a lot of things. Interestingly enough, we are actually the same for the 30-year fixed this month as we were this same time when I did the market dynamics for April. So 2.96, staying right below and right around that 3% mark. And what the Fed is saying is that while the economy is recovering, or what Freddie Mac is saying is while the economy is recovering, they still want to keep rates really low. And one thing that's kept rates pretty consistent is that the Federal Reserve is buying significant amounts of mortgage-backed securities every day. Every morning, they're buying billions of dollars worth of mortgage-backed securities to try and keep these interest rates really low, which is fantastic for buyers, especially because prices are appreciating at such a rapid pace. And then it's great for sellers as well because you can lock into that low rate when you buy your new place. And if you really right now, if you bought in the last, 2 to 5 years and you have an interest rate above 3%, strongly consider refinancing because rates are still incredibly low and that might save you a good chunk of change by refinancing with interest rates where they are. They are projected to increase, though not as modestly as what they were predicting earlier on this year. We likely won't see rates above probably 3.5% by the end of the year. I'd be surprised if they were over 4. They're definitely going to be under 4 by the end of the year. I don't have a crystal ball, of course, but everyone is saying rates are going to stay relatively low for the foreseeable future, even though they are supposed to trend upward and start rising here soon. So the biggest question that I get all the time is, with the market being bananas right now, when is going to be the best time for me to buy or sell a home? And if I'm being honest, my response is always the same. Well, it's really never a bad time to buy. It might be a bad time to sell, just because when you buy at one price, if you're selling above that, then it's a great time. You made a good decision on your buy, because it might not be a good time to sell. But really what it comes down to is, do you have a good enough reason to move right now, and can you afford it? And you won't know the answer to that question until you sit down and talk with a real estate professional like myself. I'm always happy to just give you free information about what's going on in the market, talk a little bit about your situation, what you're looking for, and then set you up with a fantastic local lender that can really sit down and help you answer the can you afford it portion of that question. And then we really just get to work to making things happen for you on your time frame. That's the biggest thing that I want to talk about, is that we work on your time frame. It's not about me. Yes, this is my job. And yes, I'm here to help you buy or sell real estate. But at the same time, what I'm actually here for is just to educate you and hope that you make good decisions for you and your family, by giving you the information that you need in order to make those decisions. But you don't know until you sit down with me. So feel free to reach out. My number is 208-914-1095. Of course, you can always email me as well. And feel free to visit my website. I have some great resources on there. You can take a look at the listings that we have going on, as well as checking out our reviews, see what our past clients have to say about us. But that's what I have for us going into the market dynamic deep dive. So now let's talk about the wrap up on what we're seeing in the market. All right, so there you have it. That's what's going on in Ada County, Canyon County, as well as those interest rates. Now, one thing that I wanted to talk about is that it is really difficult right now to figure out what true demand is, because yes, we are down in both Ada and Canyon County year over year, but we just don't have the inventory to really measure what kind of demand we have going on out there. And with the average days on market being less than 2 weeks for both Ada and Canyon County, that indicates that demand is still very strong, even though we're down slightly year over year. Now, what we're seeing on a week over week basis will tell the true story, because what I think is what we saw a couple weeks ago, that demand softened a little bit and inventory rose significantly by 50 homes, which isn't really significant, but it feels significant because we've been so tight on inventory for so long. With demand is people just took their summer vacations. They had Memorial Weekend. So it was just people took a little bit of a break because now they can. And I think as inventory continues to rise because more people feel safe putting their house on the market and the vaccine becomes, more people become more vaccinated and restrictions are starting to loosen up and things are getting back to normal life, we're going to see inventory continue, and maybe some of the buyers that were scared about entering the marketplace because of COVID and the pandemic might enter the marketplace as well, because interest rates are still super competitive. And one thing for being a buyer right now in this difficult seller's market out there is just make sure you have an agent that understands how to navigate it, because yes, it is tough out there, but it's not impossible. Yeah, we have 700 some odd homes that are pending and only 400 that are available. But what that actually means is 700 buyers plus were successful in securing a home. So you can too. And if you're a seller and you just don't know where you're going to go, that's what I can help with as well. You'd be surprised how often things actually line up when you have an agent that knows what they're doing and you have a clear picture on what you are looking for, on what to get to. So if you're thinking about buying and selling, that's really what I'm here for, to give you the information to make you feel better about entering into this marketplace and just making things happen for you. My number is 208-914-1095. Feel free to visit my website or email me as well. And I look forward to connecting with you and seeing how I can help. Hope everyone has a great weekend, and I will see you next week for a much shorter video for just the week over week numbers. Thanks, guys.